Welcome to another episode of the Nuggets Nation podcast. The Nuggets are about to play their Game 5 matchup against the Spurs tonight. Well, we're going to start today's podcast off with some un-Nuggets related. I guess it's still related, but some non-Nuggets news. We're going to talk about OKC today. OKC blows the fuck out of me. I kind of hate OKC. Let me get this right. I don't hate the players. I have no problem with Russell Westbrook. I used to not have a problem with KD. You know, I fuck with James. Everybody, Steven Adams, I like. Serge Ibaka back in the day. I've never had a problem with any Thunder player. I absolutely hate the organization. They are in our division, but that's not really why I hate them. I hate the Thunder organization because they robbed us of some beautiful basketball, of some interesting times. They fumbled the bag, man. They had James Harden, Russell Westbrook, and KD all on the same team, man. And they couldn't hold on. They were one of the earliest. I think they might have been before anybody had 3 All-Stars on their team. And it wasn't cheating. I mean, it was pure, drafting and I guess you could say luck. Maybe you could say good. But the point is, the Thunder front office couldn't hold those players together. They couldn't figure out a way to make it all work out. And we lost one of the greatest franchises we could have enjoyed. It could have been the Warriors, the Thunder, or whatever LeBron's team is, Some of the fans also below me have had some interactions with them on Twitter. I mean, some of them are cool. But once again, they disappoint and blow me, man. I was watching the Thunder and the Trailblazers game, of course. It would benefit the Nuggets if they could keep the series close, win a couple games. I watched the game. Russell Westbrook was on fire. The Thunder were looking amazing. They looked like they were about to push the series to Game 7, And then they collapsed. The Thunder nowadays, I don't know. They have no structure. They have nobody to calm everything down, fix the situations. They just have players that play street ball. I mean, they just be jacking, really. But the Thunder couldn't hold on to their early lead for Game 4, and it's looking like they're going to get sent home pretty early. So the Nuggets aren't going to have the advantage that we'd like with the Blazers or the Thunder having a prolonged series. Looks like the Blazers are going to have some rest before they hopefully play us. It's also looking like we're going to struggle a little bit. It would be nice if the Nuggets could just handle business quickly, but it's looking like we might go to Game 7. Hoping it's just a Game 6, though. They say the playoff ratings are down this year. Some people want to argue that it's because LeBron's not in the playoffs. Some people are saying it's because the first round is kind of obvious. They must not have been watching our series. It sucks that we're the entertaining series, but, I mean, our series is kind of unpredictable, to be honest. But I did say it before. First I'll say this: if we are able to get past the Spurs, round 2 is going to be easier for us than round 1. And that's what I said before. I did say that the Spurs were the worst possible matchup that we could have. I'm much more worried about this Spurs series than I would be round 2 against OKC or the Blazers. Now, the Blazers are the 3rd seed, and you could say they're a formidable team. Maybe if they still had Yusuf Nurkic, I would definitely be a little bit worried. Nurkic is an interesting matchup against Jokic. If anybody knows, we drafted Yusuf Nurkic first, so he came from the Nuggets. The Nuggets used to believe in him more than Jokic. They had Yusuf as, one of the cornerstone players, I wouldn't say he was going to be our future. I mean, I definitely used to love him. I used to think he was really good. I'm sure the Nuggets had him highly rated. But they definitely rated him more than Jokic. That's the thing. But then Jokic just started popping up off the scene. They tried to keep both, but they couldn't play together. I'm not the smartest basketball person, I guess. I would like to think I am. But they say the Jokic and Nurkic matchup, I guess, like both of them in the game at the same time doesn't work, but somehow Plumlee and Jokic works, and Yusuf is very similar to Plumlee, I would say. I wouldn't say they're exactly the same, but they have the same skill set. And the biggest deciding factor and the thing that would make the biggest difference, what I would say, is I don't know if you guys have seen it, but when the Blazers have played the Nuggets, Yusuf Nurkic has tried his hardest. He's done the most to try to outshine Jokic. I know that he's pretty mad at the organization for choosing Jokic over him. The thing is, he gets blatant and really wants to fight with us, and it's a lot of hate out there. And it's a problem with me because I really loved Yusuf back then. But, I mean, hey, if he's beefing with the Nuggets, I'm beefing with him too. But, like I said, I mean, he does definitely show up against the Nuggets. So whatever reason it is, he shows up. And like I said, if he wasn't injured, I would be worried about them in round 2. But without him, they're just like any other team to me. Dame and CJ are beasts, but the Nuggets are beasts, honestly. But to be completely honest, I had a lot more hope for this year's playoffs. The cards just aren't falling for us perfectly like we needed. I don't have an issue with us being inexperienced. I'm sure, it's a bit of a disadvantage, but it's not the biggest deal in the world. Our issue is we're gonna be at a disadvantage. We're the ones sitting here fighting, and everyone else is getting their rest pretty early. We're gonna have to fight, some pretty good teams. Eventually, we're gonna have to either see the Warriors or the Rockets if we do, make it past the teams that I'm overlooking. I would be a lot more confident against the Warriors or the Rockets if they could at least have struggled in this first round series. To be honest, though, we could make up for it. No matter what we do in the first round, if we can get to the second round, take care of business pretty quickly, I don't see any way the Warriors or the Rockets are going to kill each other. I'm going to see them battling it out. I'm almost certain they'll go to a Game 7, maybe a Game 6, but I would bet my money that they go to Game 7, honestly. So we just got to go in there and third-party them before they get a chance to heal, honestly. That's our biggest chance. We need to take advantage of a team. I'm not even going to say, we can't see the Warriors or the Rockets head-to-head, fair, evenly matched, no advantages either side. I don't see us beating them in a 7-game series. We definitely could beat either of those teams in a 1-game series, but the way the NBA playoffs are set up, it truly does show what team is better. And speaking of that, we'll go to the Spurs series again. And what they're showing is that Greg Popovich is the Spurs. We have the better players. The only thing keeping them alive is Pop. The only weakness on our team is small forward. And it's only really an issue for right now. We actually, I wouldn't say we 100% have it solved, but we have some form of a plan. We have Michael Porter Jr., which I think people are forgetting about. We drafted him last year. He's going to be out for the whole year this year. And people were saying he's possibly the best person out of the draft, but he was injured, so nobody wanted to draft him. But the thing is, the Nuggets are extremely full with talent everywhere. On the bench, we have Torrey Craig, Malik Beasley, and everybody. Our starters, from Gary Harris to Jokic to Murray, even Paul Millsap as our veteran. We're amazing. All we're missing is the small forward. And if Michael Porter Jr. is even half of what people expect him to be, the Nuggets are going to be set for the future, honestly. Speaking about that OKC team from back in the day with James Harden, Russ, and KD, we're pretty similar to them. They made it all the way to the 2012 NBA Finals. KD was in his 5th year, Russell Westbrook was in his 4th year, and James Harden was in his 3rd year as the 6th man of the year. And people love to harp on inexperience about the Nuggets, but that team was pretty inexperienced. And like I said, we could draw lots of parallels to the OKC Thunder. Like I said, we have a future. I don't think we'll fumble the bag like they did. But speaking of comparing them, Gary Harris is also in his 5th year, just like KD was. Jokic is in his 4th, like Russ. And Jamal Murray's in his 3rd year, just like Harden was. So, hey, we might make it to the damn finals this year. Can't look too far ahead. Right now, we have to focus on the Spurs and beating them. Like I said, our only issue right now is small forward, and it's showing up against the Spurs. Pop is... Actually, I don't know if Pop is doing anything. I think Will Barton is just missing. Our problem is Will Barton is our starter, and Will Barton is more streaky than JR has ever been. For example, we shot great from 3 last game. We won the game. I looked at it, and Will Barton was actually 3 from 3 from three-point range. So maybe that makes sense why we won. But then if you look further into it, Will Barton was 3 for 10 in field goal percentage. So the only 3 shots he made were his 3 threes that he made. I mean, it's weird, man. I like Barton, so I'm not going to hate on Barton, but he is the biggest issue with us in this series. Torrey Craig started the game. He was 5 for 7 from 3, which is 71%. The problem with that is Torrey Craig is our G League player that we bumped up, and he's here strictly for defense. If Torrey Craig is knocking down threes, Michael Porter Jr. might have an issue. I mean, the whole league is going to have an issue. I'm not going to say that, this is how Torrey Craig plays. It might just be one game. But I'm telling you, if he keeps any form of consistent three-point shooting, that guy is going to be an issue. But right now, Malone is going to show how good of a coach he really is. I mean, he has to figure out the small forward rotation. I mean, you could throw Barton on the bench, start Beasley or Craig. I mean, they're both great players, but they are bench players. Of course, they can show up, but they might show that they are supposed to be bench players. The problem with throwing Will Barton on the bench is, like I said, he's a streaky shooter. So, I mean, if you don't give him his chance, he'll never be able to get on a streak, and he'll just be useless. I mean, we do want to get some use out of him, and we can. I mean, he's not a bad player. He's just been off this start of this playoffs. But, hey, I'm not overly confident, but I'm definitely confident that Mike Malone will figure it out, and the Nuggets will make it pretty far. Western Conference Finals, that's the prediction for the Nuggets this year.